Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Josh here. Welcome to another morning meditation. Today we're looking at the parable of the fool at work, as it's called in Luke chapter 14, verses 28 through 30. And I'll read them for you now. Verse 28. If one of you wanted to build a tower, wouldn't you first sit down and calculate the cost to determine whether you have enough money to complete it? Otherwise, when you've laid the foundation but couldn't finish the tower, all who see it will begin to belittle you. They will say, "Here's that person who began construction and couldn't complete it." Now, this kind of harkens back to something that Jesus said in Matthew 5, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And what we see here is kind of this instruction to uh, not overly commit ourselves, or um, not make promises that we can't keep, sort of a thing. Because when you overcommit yourself, that's basically what you're doing. When you're committing yourself, you're making a commitment that you're going to be present or that you're going to do something. And then when you can't do it, it makes you look like a fool. Now, granted, there are things that are outside of our control. We intend to do something and things like pandemics happen, or weather or whatever prevents us from being able to do it, but that isn't really what Jesus is getting at here. The thought is to think about the things that you do, think about the time and the energy commitments that you're committing yourself to, and determine if they're realistic and if they're sustainable. Because it's better to do the analysis up front and determine, maybe this is something I want to do, but it's just not feasible right now. And say, with your best yes or your best no possible, hey, I just can't do this right now. Better to do that early than to commit to something and get egg on your face later when you have to bow out, or you don't live into your covenant or your commitment or the expectations that you've set forth, and now other people are depending on you. So that's what I want you guys to think about today. How have you maybe experienced that from the other side? When you were counting on somebody, or you were in a relationship, or a work relationship or whatever with someone, and you thought you could depend on them because they put their best foot forward, and then they ended up having to back out, and how maybe you were affected by that. And maybe on the flip side of that, when that has happened to you and you've had to sort of look like a fool in some cases, and say, I know I said I could do this, but I can't. And again, this is good reflective material here, and Christ is calling us to be reflective a little deeper in our lives and things like that. So good food for thought. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's nourishing for you and it leads you to some good self-discovery. And tune in tomorrow and we'll carry on with another study of the parables. I love you guys. We'll see you.